Welcome back to Higurashi. So, today we're going to get some details of the Delinquent 3.
Kuma-chan, 腕を離してあげていいですよ。さささ、どうぞおかげになって。
The three people rubbed their arms painfully. Kumatani-kun and the others must have been squeezing them pretty tightly. I think that's the first time that we've actually gotten Kuma-chan's name, so he's called Kumatani-kun.
お兄さんたち誤解しないでくださいよ。別に逮捕したわけじゃないんだから。くまちゃん、冷蔵庫から冷たいの出してあげてください。お兄さんたちは泡の出る麦茶と出ない麦茶どっちがいいです？
They plunked down onto the reception sofa, and despite not yelling anymore, they still had dangerous expressions. What I'd give to be young again.
飲まないなら私勝手に飲んじゃいますよ。失礼してピシッと。勤務中に飲むビールが一番美味しいですね。
Something tells me that's probably not a good idea. There's got to be some kind of workplace regulation about that. Then again, this isn't the 80s, so... And even if it wasn't, I'm not so sure that it would be too strictly observed. As he downed the beer with glee, the three people exchanged glances, then finally reached out for their cans. They hadn't stopped being cautious. It was more like they didn't see a reason to refuse. They each opened their cans and began to drink the contents.
お兄さんたちはどっから来たんです？ここいらの人じゃないでしょう。
They looked at each other again, suspicious of whether they should tell him.
お兄さんたち大学生？お友達同士？バイクか何かで旅行中だったんでしょうかね。羨ましいな。
Well, he's definitely playing the good cop right now, but I don't know if it's necessarily an act or if he really sympathizes with them because he knows that there's more going on here.
家は近くってわけじゃないんでしょ？どっから来たの？大阪ですかな？んなのどこでもいいだろ。
I mean, based on the way they talk, it wouldn't be too surprising.
まあそう凄まないで。あのままいたらお兄さん方だってやばかったでしょ。
They seemed to recall the thrilling event from earlier. While they could understand getting surrounded by students or a gang, or something along those lines, they would have never been surrounded by locals, both young and old, both men and women, before. It was easy to imagine how scared they must have been.
ここいらの人間ならどんな間違いがあってもひなみ沢の人間には手出ししないですよ。あそこの連中は特殊なんです。
Well, that's not really true, considering what happened last time.
子供の喧嘩に親は出てくるな、なんてもんじゃない。一人をいじめたら、それこそ村中が総出でやってきますよ。いや、ほんと、脅しでも何でもなく。
They couldn't argue against that. They themselves had been surrounded. They'd seen it with their own eyes. There was no doubt about it.
ここいらじゃねえ。ひなみ沢の人間に睨まれたら、あっさり鬼隠しにあって消えちまうんです。もう跡形もなく忽然と。お兄さん方、行方不明になったら誰か捜索願いを出してくれるご家族はいます？いないならまずいな。蒸発扱いですよ。
Even then, we got there soon enough that nothing happened. If we'd been late, things could have taken a turn for the worse. If they'd been forced into an alleyway, these young men wouldn't be sitting on a couch right now. They might be lying on an autopsy table. Well, probably not. Anyway, perhaps they'd be a little more cooperative if we'd found them as corpses. I don't know if they'd have much to cooperate in that situation.
お兄さん方、沖宮へは何で来たの？電車？
By the way, Okinomiya, that's the prefecture that I was talking about. Either the last episode or the one before. That was the one that Hinamizawa was based on. Because I saw the name, and I looked it up, and I'm like, is this a real place? And it's like, it turns out it is. Hinamizawa isn't, but the prefecture of Okinomiya is.
バイク？
Wait, no, maybe it wasn't Okinomiya. I think it was something else. It was Okoshi, I think. Or, I don't know.
バイク。そりゃまずいな。さっきのとこにまだ止めっぱなしなんでしょ。あんたらのこのことバイクを取りに戻ったら、今度こそ袋叩きに会いますよ。なんだよそれ。上等じゃねえか。
Calm down, calm down. Why are young people these days so quick with the shouting?
あんたらももう面倒ごとはごめんでしょう。バイクのナンバー教えてください。ここまで持ってきてあげますから。クマちゃん、交通課対策にゲート車を借りてきてください。えっせ、別にいいよ。自分たちで取りに行くからいいって。あんたら本気で囲まれたいんですか。今度は警察間に合わないかもしれませんよ。大丈夫だっつったんだろ。囲み上等だ。おい、お兄さん方、あんたら今泡の出る麦茶飲んだろ。エンジンかけてみろ。その場で飲酒取るぞこら。
Nice.
汚ねえ。警察が税金使って兄さん方のバイクを運びして死んぜよって言ってんだよ。ごちゃごちゃ言わねえでナンバー言えってんだよ、このクソバカ野郎。
The three were hesitant to tell him the numbers, but he does have their best interests at heart, so you can't really blame him here. They were mumbling something along the lines of not remembering them since they'd just bought the bikes. Well, that's what I thought.
クマちゃん、ゲート車に同行してバイク持ってきてあげて。ごつい赤いやつとテールランプの右側が割れたやつ、あとシートにガムテ貼ってあった白いやつ、それだろ、兄さんたちのバイク。
They didn't answer. Those must be the right ones.
おいさん、ゲート車来ましたんで行ってきます。
はいはい、よろしくお願いします。あとクマちゃん、ちょっと。
なんすか？
ナンバー紹介しといてください。間違ったバイクを持ってきちゃうと悪いから。
The three people's faces changed color. Let me guess, they're all going to be stolen. They made themselves very easy to understand.
バイク戻ってくるまでのんびりしてましょうよ。ビールもっとありますよ。乾き物だってありますし。テレビ見ます？ろくなのやってませんけどね。いいよ、俺たちもう行くから。こんなとこにいつまでもいたくねえよ。
Suddenly there were 5 or 6 huge officers surrounding them. Their clearly overpowering stares nailed them to the sofa.
なんだよ、俺たちが何かしたかよ。
Going on a trip by stealing motorcycles, huh? Students these days have too much time on their hands. Yeah, like I thought. So, now we can actually begin the chapter. I knew we wouldn't be doing any club activities after school today before Mion even said anything. I'd been invited over by Shion for an all-you-can-eat dessert. I made a point of leaving half my lunch uneaten. My expectations would only be rivaled by my hunger.
Ch2, 今日はなんだか嬉しそうだね。いいことあるのかな？
I guess it was obvious. We'll see if Mion has trouble looking him in the eye. Probably not, because she has her personality so under control. But if he even, like, slightly hints at something being her eye, I guess, or being a miss, then she might lapse a bit into her other one, I think. Rena had questioned me with a happy look. That's right, why don't I invite Rena for dessert as well? No, that's not gonna go well. No, if I recall correctly, Shion said something about having a ticket. Sure, that's the reason. At worst, the restaurant might be admission by ticket only today. If that wasn't the case, or if that was the case, then having Rena be turned away at the door would result in the worst feeling ever.
ちょっとしたラッキーでさ、明日報告してやるよ。レナン、きっと羨ましがるぜ。
なんだろう。いいの。そのラッキーって可愛いかな？
Cute. I wonder what Rena would think of the uniforms at Angel Mod. She'd probably be all over them, to be honest. They'd definitely be a critical hit.
多分かなり可愛いかも。
いいの。何かな？
へえ、どんな幸運に恵まれたのやら。あれ？ひょっとして2月くらい前にエンジェルモードで三角くじとか引いた？それに当たった？
おいおい、俺は2月前にはまだ転校してきてないぞ。
ああ、そっか。じゃあエンジェルのデザートフェスタでもないし。
みーちゃん、エンジェルのデザートフェスタって何かな？
It's weird how she's, like, dismissing it like that. It almost seems like it's something that she would know about, but, I don't know. That's just a really weird thing for her to say in this situation. I'm having a hard time reading it.
ほら、沖宮の駅前の正面にエンジェルモートっていうファミレスがあるじゃない？あそこではね、季節の変わり目に新デザートのお披露目イベントをやるんだよ。それが今日でね。あ、言っても無駄だよ。くじ当選者以外は入店できない貸し切りデーだから。
Mion explained once again what Shion explained to me last night.
レナも今度からお店に通ってみよう。頑張ってくじを当てて次のデザート食べ放題を狙うの。
頑張れ。ちなみに聞いた話だと、当選くじはマニア垂涎のプラチナチケットで、闇では高値で取引されてるなんて噂が。
Hearing that story, I felt even more appreciative of the ticket that Shion had procured for me. I just thought I was lucky to be able to eat dessert for free, but it turned out that the ticket was much more valuable. The number of things I had to thank Shion for had increased again.
ありがとな。そんなに価値があるものなんて、俺全然知らなくて。
I whispered in a voice only Mion could hear. That was how I conveyed my feelings. Mion looked at me for a moment before she tilted her head to the side and smiled confusedly.
何？なんか言った？
It would be a problem if you said something to me right now. That smile seemed to be telling me as much. I guess Mion wouldn't be accepting any gratitude while she was Mion. I'll go to the restaurant. Today I'll thank Mion while she's Shion.
じゃ、おじさんはこの辺で失礼するわ。今日のバイトはちょっとハードなんだよな。じゃあね。
Mion waved her hand energetically as she left.
ねえ、ケイチくん。なんだかみーちゃん、最近変なの。 浮かれてるっていうか嬉しそうっていうか。
そうなのか?
Rena was pretty sharp when it came to these types of things. Yeah, I was just gonna say she's being her perceptive self again. To me, Mion seemed the same as always, but Rena apparently felt something different. Well, she probably sees her in different situations, but yeah, I don't know.
ケイチ君は知らないのかな。てっきり知ってるのかなって思って。
Yeah, and of course there's no use lying to Rena. She's probably gonna feel left out by all this, and that could have disastrous consequences. Rena's skirt fluttered as she spun around with a coy smile.
知ってるって俺が何を?
I was obviously weaseling my way out of the question, but I wasn't lying. Honestly, I didn't really know what was going on. Why did Shion, a persona of Mion that she'd created, appear before me? Something was blatantly up, but Rena paid it no heed.
そっか。じゃあ何なんだろうね。でもみーちゃんが機嫌いいとレナも嬉しいよ。はう。
Well, hopefully that's not a lie. Saying that, she spread her arms wide and spun around happily. I didn't know why, but Rena was in a really good mood. It was so infectious that I had to smile too. Even the chirping of the cicadas seemed joyful.
でもね。
Uh-oh. Rena abruptly stopped spinning. Her expression had returned to a more somber one.
みーちゃんね。つい最近ね。すごく傷つけられたの。
傷つけって
The pain that Rena was talking about probably wasn't physical.
はじめはあまり気にしてないふりをしてたけど、怪我と同じ。だんだん腫れてきた。じんじん腫れてきた。
And that's kind of what I was saying about how this whole dynamic that they have going on here is probably not necessarily very healthy. I don't know.
とうとう痛みがこらえられなくなって夜中に目を覚ました。そしてレナに電話してきたの。みーちゃんは泣いてた。
ごめん。それ何の話だよ。
何の話？レナは今何か話をしてたのかな？
おい、そんなとぼけ方するなよ。今レナは。
知らない。レナは何も知らないよ。はう。
Rena spun as she laughed innocently. Eventually, she appeared to get sick, stumbling as she steadied herself with her hand against the wall.
バカだな。調子に乗ってぐるぐる回ってるからだよ。
ごめん。気持ち悪いかも。
I'll lend the Ditz a shoulder to lean on. To be stumbling around like a newborn foal at this age is actually quite a feat. Rena, in a good mood, only babbled incoherently after that. I laughed as I responded to and chided her. However, the chance to revisit that heavy topic Rena had brought up before never arrived. I don't like the way he said never. It kind of has a pretty long-term meaning that, I don't know. Starts to make me think that things are going to come to a head soon. In some way. I mean, we've got the Watanagashi coming up, so we all know what's going to happen there, but we don't know who's going to die and what's going to go on with that. It could be Rena, for all we know. That would be unfortunate. As soon as I got home, I tossed aside my school bag and changed in a hurry. The effects of only having a light lunch were starting to show, as my stomach began to let out a fickle growl. Alright, let's go. to Angel Mar. It's time to face the land of endless desert. Preparations for battle are complete. Tally-ho! Angel Mar had a decidedly different feel to it compared to yesterday. Dessert Festa today, admittance by reservation only. Nonetheless, the front of the store was being swarmed by over a dozen young men. Judging by how they were looking upwards in jealousy instead of entering the store, they weren't invitees. Why would they gather here if they knew they couldn't get in? Maybe peek in through the windows? See if there's something special going on in there? I found out the answer when I passed through the crowd and began to climb the steps to enter the restaurant.
あんた当選者なのか？チケットを持ってるのか？
ああ、まあな。ラッキーだったんだ。
As soon as I said that, I was immediately mobbed. It was like being in the middle of a football scrum on a crowded train. What is going on? The reason was this. It wasn't just one ticket per person. One ticket could let up to 4 people inside.
そうだったのか。ますますレナや他のみんなを誘ってやるべきだった。親切にありがとう。でも今の話は聞かなかったことにするよ。
With an uplifting smile, I turned and ignored them. When I did, their arms all reached out at once, like the souls of the damned, seeking succor.
その4名様までのお供にぜひ俺たちを。
No, he's not going to do that for a complete stranger. Now, maybe if he saw somebody who he knew, then he might, but... What selfish people. This was the only reason they were crowded in front of the restaurant. Dozens of wretched arms reached out for me like the teeth on a giant rake and grasped at the air. I was already climbing the stairs to the entrance. This isn't something to joke about. I flew up the rest of the stairs and threw myself inside the restaurant. It was like I had entered a different world. The miserable throng of the damned hurled curses at me from the other side of the glass door. But inside of this completely soundproofed and air-conditioned restaurant, with the angelic smile of a waitress to welcome me, they were nothing more than a refreshing piece of scenery. I knew that I shouldn't laugh, but I began to let out a sinister cackle. Oh boy, that's gonna come back on him.
いらっしゃいませ。エンジェルモートへようこそいらっしゃいました。本日はデザートフェスタにつき、チケットのお客様のみの貸し切りになっております。チケットとご方面をお伺いしてもよろしいでしょうか。
チケットはないけど、名簿に名前があると思います。前原です。
前原、あった。失礼ですが、フルネームでお伺いしてよろしいですか？
圭一です。前原圭一。
大変失礼いたしました。特別招待の前原圭一様ですね。お席へご案内いたします。どうぞこちらへ。
The mood inside the room was incredibly heated. The booths were packed to the brim. Also, I get the feeling that since he doesn't have a ticket and he was here by special invitation, he probably wouldn't have been able to actually bring anybody in with him. Men in their prime were stuffing their faces with the dainty desserts that didn't suit them at all. It was a rather unnerving spectacle. Soon after I was shown to my seat, Shion arrived. Pretty sure she said she would be busy, but she might at least say hi.
いらっしゃいませ。ようこそエンジェルモートへ。
よーしよ。今日は本当にありがとうな。世話になりに来たぜ。
ちょっと遅かったから心配しました。でも来てくれて嬉しいです。
May have been because the other customers were around that her tone was less casual, but she still capped off that welcome with her usual brilliant smile.
見ての通り、今日はお客さんがすっごいんで、定時に抜けさせてもらえるかちょっと自信がないんです。私の仕事が終わるまでのんびりしててくださいね。終わったら一緒に遊びに行きましょうね。
Whispering just that last part into my ear, Shion winked and returned to the kitchen. Maybe it was because the mood in the restaurant was so heated, but Shion seemed a bit bolder. Even a small change in her mannerisms was enough to set my heart aflutter.
お待たせしました。
While I was overwhelmed by the atmosphere inside the restaurant, orders from the new summer menu were carried out one after another. Every single one was extravagantly huge. I get it. You can eat all of these amazing things for free. No wonder a ticket was worth its weight in gold. On top of that, all of it was plenty delicious. From dishes with a general appeal to insane ones aimed at a specific audience. There were absolutely no gaps in their repertoire.
どう考えても一人で食う量じゃないかもしれないな。まあそれは置いておいて。
It didn't feel relaxing in here at all. Probably because the fervor inside the restaurant was clearly abnormal. All the other booth seats were crammed with groups of 4. Sleazy men were gorging like pigs on cutely decorated desserts, and it wouldn't have been a surprise if they started licking the plates. It was more than a little unsettling. It piqued my interest, so I started listening in on their conversation, and what things I heard.
エンジェルモード萌え。
僕ですか。当選チケットは秘密ルートから7万で購入したつ。
職場には親戚の葬式でと言ってにゃりよ。
If they're here for the waitresses, though, I don't know why they would want to come specifically on this day. Like, it's just desserts, right? Like, I mean, yeah, it's nice to be able to get a bunch of desserts like that, but it doesn't seem like that's actually why they're here.
エンジェルは制服が最高にゃり。
ウェイトレスさん、水とかズボンにこうしてふきふきとかしてくれないかにゃー。にゃーにゃー。
エンジェルモートのフィギュアが今度発売されるらしいでござるな。次のイベントは要注意でござる。
You know, somehow I get the feeling that probably exists, like a Shion figure in that outfit. It just seems like something that would exist. They sell used Angel Moore uniforms on the 4th floor of Redacted in Akiba. They censored that line. But they cost 280,000. 'Tis an absurd price. Anmol cost 80,000 when Brobra closed down. The going rate of theirs was 12,000. That's the price for used ones. Knockoffs are less than half of that. A knockoff from Redacted is fine with me. I wonder if they'll start selling them. And I'll put it on my life-size figure I did buy off of Redacted for several $100,000. That sounds... Those extra lines there seem like kind of worsely translated than the rest, but that's not that big of a deal. If I can wake up every day to an angel from Angel, that'll really get my gears going. The words spilling out of their mouths were pretty much all incomprehensible jargon. But they still keenly conveyed that hidden behind them was an invisible aura of abnormality.
お待たせしました。次のデザートは南国風シナモンのアバンチュールでございます。どうかなさいましたか？
あ、いえ、なんかこう今日の店内は雰囲気が違うなと。
うちのお店、その道の方々にはかなり有名らしいんです。まあそういう狙いのお店ですからいいんですけどね。でもイベントの日のお客様はちょっと濃いめの方が多いんで困っちゃいます。
I guess that makes sense, that the people who would be at events like this would be the people who are like here so often that they gotta get like every lottery and all that. Although the fact that they went so far to get these tickets just, I don't know. The waitress informed me quietly with a wry
な
smile.
んかお客の人たちも血走っててハイエナみたいですよね。今日のお客さんのほとんどはかなり遠方から無理してきてるみたいですからね。そういう方々ってハメを外しやすいんでちょっと怖いんです。ちゃんとガードを固めておかないと大変なんですから。
I almost wonder if that's like a veiled, I don't know, like it has like a bit of a double meaning. People from far away tend to lose their self-control. She's like saying that like outsiders to Hinamizawa. I don't know, I could be reading way too much into that, probably. What did she mean by keep your guard up? Okay, that could happen too. At that moment, a large crash resonated through the room. I turned around, startled to see that a waitress had fallen down and spilled the order she was carrying right onto a customer. Wait, isn't that Shion?
すみませんでした。
Oh boy, here's where she's gonna expect that we come to her rescue.
そのお召し物は、その。
なんてことするにゃり。某ジーンズ専門店で1800円もしたズボンが生クリームでベトベトにゃりよ。
What the hell is that? For somebody who just met with disaster, he seems awfully happy.
これはひどいですにょ。ウェイトレスさんが精神誠意ふきするしかないでござるにょ。
Yeah, I get the feeling Keiichi's gonna have to step in here. The conversation suddenly veered off in an odd direction. Hey, what did he say? Wipey. Did he want Shion to wipe him down? Right over that obviously aberrant tent he had pitched over his crotch.
でも、その、私。
ふき。
I mean, this is where the manager would normally step in, but they might be a little busy today, I don't know. The wipey chant quickly spread throughout the room. Yeah, that's getting a little out of hand. Totally cornered, Shion went pale. She looked over to a more experienced waitress for help, but only met with a head shaking out of pity.
園崎さん、足を引っ掛けられたんですね。ああやってわざと衣服を汚させて絡んでくるお客が最近多いんですよ。
足を引っ掛けてだって？じゃあ今のあれも事故じゃなくて恋？
メインの女の子は十分気をつけてますから絶対ああはならないんですけど、園崎さんは短期バイトだからまだガードが甘くて、今日のお客様たちにも早々に見破られちゃったみたいで、朝からあんな感じで絡まれてるんです。
店長とかは何やってんだよ。あんな不良な客は追い出せよ。
We're in the service industry, so there's not much we can do about it. Man, I'm curious what that non-censored, or what that censored line was. She laughed as she said that in a resigned tone. Shion trembled uncontrollably with a dishcloth in her hands as she turned bright red. The man who had been doused in frosting splayed out on the bench, putting the cream-covered tent over his crotch on full display. Alright, great. Like, how in detail are we gonna get here? Still mentally unprepared, her trembling hand inched forward, goaded on by onlookers. From my male point of view, it might have been a ridiculous spectacle I could just smile wryly at, but from a woman's point of view, this was obviously pure humiliation. When I was trapped by those thugs and had been paralyzed with fear, Shion fearlessly stood up to them and saved me. Still, as humiliating it was, Shion was also partly to blame for this, and it wasn't as though her life was at stake, right? Oh, I hope that he doesn't like opt out of this, because she's gonna remember that. Even these guys, they were just gonna jeer at her in a bit of a lewd situation. It's not like they were gonna eat Shion alive or anything, but still, she's gonna know that you decided not to help her, and that'll definitely be something that she holds over you or holds against you. It'd be alright if I just consoled her afterwards.
私だって怖かったですよ。でも他ならぬケイちゃんのピンチだし、勇気出して頑張りましたってことです。
When I, a man, was being assailed by 3 thugs while paralyzed with fear, Shion saved me without a second thought. What about now? These sleazy, filthy degenerates were trying to pin the blame on Shion. This time our roles were reversed. Hey, Keiichi Maibara. If you don't save her now, when will you be able to repay the debt you owe her? You scared, Keiichi Maibara? At that time, Mion, didn't even show a hint of hesitation. Then what about now? I'm not hesitating. Then what? If you're not hesitating, then why aren't you helping her?
さあ観念するでござる。フォフォフォ。
やかましいぞ重量オーバー。俺の目が黒いうちに出て失せろ。
I grasped Shion's shoulder firmly and pulled her behind me.
ケイちゃん。
分かっておらんでござるな。そのスタッフが世のオズボンに粗相したのでござるよ。これはお仕置きなのでござる。
お仕置きが必要なのは男なら能書き吐くな。腕で物を言ってみろ。
My body was lifted into the air like nothing. I was thrown right back into my own seat. This guy is strong? Yeah, that's why you don't pick a fight with somebody who's like twice your size, whether it's vertical or horizontal. No matter how you look at it, athletic and this Lardo aren't even in the same area code.
オタクは意外にマイナーな武道を得得していることが多いでござるから甘く見ると大変でござるよ。
No, that's not actually true. Unless it's like with skill with a katana, I guess. The man smirked, showing off his gum line.
ケイちゃん、大丈夫？
Damn it, how lame must I look right now?
シオンは足を引っ掛けられたんだろう。向こうが悪いんだから突き上がらせることなんかないぞ。
そうだけど、でもやっぱり悪いのは。
もう一度だ。行くぞー。これくらいでへこたれるケイチ様だと思うなよ。もう一度だ
お口ほどにもないでござるの。
Yeah, pretty much.
まだまだ。
Well, it's the thought that counts, really. Rise, my will to fight. At least it's a situation where the consequences don't really matter, and it really is just the thought that counts. Not just running, I planted every one of my steps firmly as I closed the distance to the lard ball. Each time I ripped my foot off the floor, I could feel my burning spirit flare up from the point of impact. Everything slowed down like I was walking underwater. As I stepped forward in that viscous flow of time, I calmly measured the gap between us. With our difference in height, reach was my ultimate advantage. There was an ever so tiny distance between us where only my punch would be able to reach. I unleashed my iron fist of righteous anger, but it flew towards his face slowly like it was punching underwater. Reacting to that, with a smirk on his face, the fatso easily slipped inside of my punch. I hadn't realized it until now, but in this mired time I was able to observe his baffling counterattack with almost painful clarity. His arm slowly swung around in a large windmill motion, wrapped around my whiffed punch, and descended in an arc. That arm swung around like the arms of a clock, and came into contact with my head, twisting my upper body around. And he had bullet time, and he still lost. Dragging my head along, he followed through with another rotation. This time he rotated his entire body like a top, followed by another rotation. Combining defense and offense, it was a brilliant counter. That's right, 3 times. I was thrown after 3 rotations, I think. In this viscous region of time, I was unable to struggle, and I could only wait dumbstruck until the moment I was thrown. The moment that sluggish temporal anomaly abruptly ended.
修行が足りないでござるよ、ヤングメン。
I was loath to admit it, but against somebody trained in martial arts, I couldn't win through force of will alone. After my consciousness faded in a wave of dizziness, when I came to, I was lying down in my own seat.
怪我しなくてよかったですね。
The more experienced waitress from before wiped the sweat from my brow with a towel. While she was doing that, a red-faced and teary-eyed Shion trudged over.
大丈夫ですか？私なんかのために。すみませんでした。
俺こそ役に立たなくてすまん。俺喧嘩って勝ったことないし。
Well, that would have been nice to know before he actually tried that.
私のために助けに来てくれただけで嬉しかったです。本当ですよ。それだけでも今日はケイちゃんに来てもらえてよかったかなって。
As she said that, she stuck her tongue out teasingly. She wiped off the whipped cream with the washcloth she was holding in her hands.
園崎さん、R 入ってもいいですよ。あと 1,2 時間でしょ。いいんです。バイトとはいえお給料もらってる身ですから。時間内はちゃんと働きたいんです。だから本当お気遣いなく。
She couldn't even put up a brave front. I would never even think for a second that Mion could be that weak. This was Shion, and she had been harassed by some unreasonable riffraff. Well, she's also preoccupied. Or the much more scary possibility that that was all calculated, but I'd prefer to not think that way, for now. That was reality.
ケイちゃんは気にしないでデザートいっぱい食べててくださいね。一通り食べ終わったらアンケートを書いてもらいますので。じゃあ私ホールに戻りますね。
I was actually worried that he was gonna get, like, kicked out for causing a ruckus, but apparently not. Apparently the manager is just nowhere to be found today. It's just like a Wild West in here, anything goes. After some consoling words and a sympathetic smile to Shion, the other waitress started to head back to work. That's where I stopped her.
電話借りたいんですけど。
電話ですか？レジ横にございますよ。ご案内いたします。
I pulled a 10-yen coin from my wallet. This wasn't about saving face. My being a worthless coward was an unchangeable fact, but I could just cry myself to sleep about that later tonight. Now was not the time for tears. I had to fight.
チケット1枚で4人まで OK なんですよね。あと3人呼んでもいいんですよね。
ええ、そうですけど、一応名簿に書きますので、お名前を伺ってもよろしいですか？
There's gonna be Rena and, would it be Satoko and Rika? Although it's everybody but Mion, so that's gonna raise some eyebrows if he does do that. I turned around and glared at the greasy hooligan who subjected Shion to that humiliation. There are 3 things that aren't working in your favor today, punk. The first is that I owe Shion. The second is that I'm a man who's not afraid to throw away his pride to win. And the third is that we're the most powerful club members in history. Although I get the feeling that this is not going to go well either if he does bring them.
名簿には竜宮レナ、それから北条聡子、フルで理科で。
かしこまりました。受けたまわります。
I'll have the best and most powerful club members join the fray. They can bring down 1,000 foes. Unfortunately, this is not going to go well. This is going to cause some issues. You fat asses. Prepare to meet your maker. If you just left it at that, you would have been in a really good position with Shion, but I don't know. This is definitely going to complicate things. Because if this is actually a Shion and it's not Mion, then that means you're inviting everybody but Mion. Whereas if this is, well, I think he should at least give Mion a call, just in case. But there's no way that he would actually think to do that.
いいお店だね。はあ、制服かいい。レナも来たい。
もデザートまでおごってもらえるなんて僕は大感激なのです。
ああ、好きなだけ食ってくれ。俺の分なんか気にするな。
圭一さん、茶番は結構でございますのよ。要件に入ってほしいですわ。
Rena and Rika-chan put down their forks when Satoko broached the subject. After looking at them for a few moments, I pressed my forehead firmly into the table.
俺の不甲斐なさを笑ってもいい。力を貸してくれ。
The three of them seemed surprised by the sudden turn of events, but nevertheless listened to what I had to say without making fun of my unusual behavior.
どうしたのかな？何があったんだろう、太郎。
実はミオンの妹のシオンがこの店でバイト。
ああ、話に聞いてたみーちゃんの妹さんだね。ひょっとしてあれかな、あれかな。似てるね、似てるね。似てるも何も髪を下ろしただけの本人ではありませんの？
No, stop, Satoko, you're breaking kayfabe. I didn't know what to say.
圭一がシオンだと言うからシオンなのですよ。いくら双子だってあんなに腕二つになるもんなんですの？
I get the feeling that that's Rika saying that this is just like my theory for now, but I'm thinking that Rika actually knows Shion, and she knows that that's not Shion, but she's saying, alright, if you say it's Shion, then I'll believe it's Shion.
一卵性双生児って言ってね、本当にそっくりの双子ってこともあるんだって。
Rena gave the most plausible explanation, so everyone else was convinced.
納得してもらえたかな。それで本題だ。
I recounted everything that had just happened. How Shion was targeted, how she was antagonized by the customers, and the humiliation that was forced upon her. Also, how incredibly pathetic I was. I included everything without trying to hide it.
それはひどいね。しーちゃんかわいそう。しかし、それを助けられないなんて、みっともないにも程がありますわよ。
それについては返す言葉がない。
さとこちゃん、負けを認めて助けを求めるのってとっても難しいことなの。圭一くんは変なプライドなんかよりしーちゃんを助けることを選んだんだよ。ふん、情けないですこと。
Rena's follow-up stung a bit, but I could only be thankful that she understood. Satoko was calling me all sorts of names, but there was no malintentions behind her words.
で、僕たちは何をするですか？
But just gang up on him 4-on-1. Just attack. Use your claws and nails, whatever you got. Her voice was monotone, but there was a hint of resolve in her words. I replied to Rika-chan's suggestive silence in kind with my own quiet resolve.
まあ、そんなところだと思ってましたわ。圭一さん一人には少々荷が重すぎますもの。
じゃあ助けてくれるのか？
当然だよ、圭一くん。私たちは誰がいじめられても助けに行くよ。
I remembered when I was cornered by those thugs, what Shion had said about the strong feeling of solidarity in Hinamizawa really began to hit home. However, Keiichi Maibara, now is not the time to get choked up with tears of gratitude. Now is the time to fight.
一人で頑張ったけど、歯が立たなくてかわいそうかわいそうです。
Yeah, I think that's worthy of a head pat. Rika-chan gently pat my head for me. There we go. But there was no mindless pity in the palm of that hand. It was overflowing with the strong, dependable feeling of, leave the rest to us.
もろもろの都合により、ミオンは参戦できないので、臨時に俺が指揮を取る。作戦内容は、シオンの護衛と敵勢力の殲滅。
敵って誰かな？いっぱいいるのかな？
現時刻以降、シオンにちょっかいを出そうとする全個人、全交戦規定はなし。報酬は今食ったデザート。質問はあるか？
Everybody had already entered club mode, their eyes peering at the riffraff clamoring around inside the restaurant like predators, stalking their prey from the darkness. Rika-chan held up her hand.
リカちゃん、
手加減は必要ですか？不要に決まってますわ。ミオさんの妹に狼藉を働く輩に手加減なんか不要ですの。
Let's hope that this doesn't escalate into something really, really unpleasant. Let's hope that we're still in the happy fun times of the novel so far.
いいんですね、ケイチ。
Rika-chan was serious. She was really ready to pretty much murder someone. Ah, I'm counting on you, Rika-chan.
全責任は俺、前原圭一が取る。蹴散らしてやれ。
よーし、レナも頑張るぞ。
すまん、よろしく頼む。
ケイチさん、そんなに力まなくても大丈夫ですのよ。まあご覧あそばせ。ケイチさんがそのパフェを食べ終わる頃にはお掃除は終わってましたよ。ではみんな頑張りましょうですよ。ファイトおーです。
Thus, the most powerful warband the world had ever known, trained by Mion, began to move. Honestly, I don't know how much help Satoko and Rika are gonna be physically, but Reina can pack a punch, we know that much. I was the oldest, the only boy, and behaved like a leader, but when you considered our club activities, I was by far the most junior member. Individually, everyone besides me had terrifying combat capabilities. If all of them combined their strengths to protect Shion, I couldn't even imagine. I was probably about to witness something terrible and awe-inspiring.
園崎さん、7番テーブルにデラックスパフェを5つお願いします。あ、はい。
Shion carried the order to the tables. For Shion to carry all 5 parfaits without wobbling took so much effort that she didn't have the breathing room to pay attention to her feet.
どうしよう、また来たでござるよ。
今度はミーのおズボンにぶっかけさせて、一層念入りにふきふきしてもらうにより。
It was the same wipey-wipey scheme that had occurred just a short time earlier. This time, another one of them was trying it out for himself. The very depravity of these men was itself a full-out attack.
圭一よりレナへ。5、6番テーブル付近で待ち伏せだ。レナ、聞こえてるか？
お店の制服かわいいね。はう、お持ち帰り。
Officer down. Shion, her bottom swaying while carrying the parfaits, was being chased by an equally swaying Rena. She was supposed to be escorting Shion, but Rena was instead transfixed by the back of her uniform. From a normal person's point of view, it was probably like having a fox guard a hen house, but when it comes to Rena, things are different. Oh wait, yeah, I forgot. This is when she's in her element.
怪異状態、シンクロ率 120%。勝ったな。
あの状態のレナさんには地球上のどんな物理法則も通用しませんわ。
Shion's legs, unsteady and defenseless, were being targeted by those sleazebags.
今でござるよ。どうし。
世界の輝ける明星にして偉大なる総統閣下万歳。
I don't think that is the right title for that person, but alright. A leg snaked out to trip Shion's defenseless feet. 3 of them at once. It happened in an instant. The 3 fools writhed in pain as their legs bent at unnatural angles.
これは何事でござるか。
Rena teetered into view and gave them a warning.
おいたはダメなんだよ。メーだよ、メー。レナがお持ち帰りするから、メー。
この小娘、神妙な技を。
The human scum clutched at their bruised ankles as they passed out.
さすがはレナさん。
Honestly, that is pretty merciful, though, all things considered, considering we know what she's capable of.
いつ見ても恐ろしいキレですわね。
ああ、絶対的なガードだ。半径2メートル以内で行われるシオンへのあらゆる攻撃をレナは完全なカウンターで粉砕する。
As Shion was making her rounds through the restaurant, there were people here and there collapsing with welts on their legs or hands.
はうレナよりケイチ君へ。もうしーちゃんにちょっかい出す人はいないよ。だからもうお持ち帰り。
Okay, now we need someone to take out Rena.
ケイチよりレナへご苦労だった。引き続き護衛を続けてくれ。それからお持ち帰りは不可。繰り返す。お持ち帰りは不可。
じゃあ見てるだけだよ。見てるだけ。はう
I guess just looking is fine. That wouldn't prevent her from guarding Shion, so I guess it's okay. Anyway, thanks to this, I knew who had tried to mess with Shion. Anybody who was clutching at their arm or leg while they were writhing in agony was basically branded by their bruises.
現時刻をもって敵勢力識別を完了。次のフェーズへ移行する。ケイチよりサトコへ。そっちはどうなってる？
さとこですわよ。どうなってるとはひどい言い方でございますわね。ケイチさん、私を誰だと思っておいでですの？
Satoko was in the kitchen. She had spread open a sketch of the restaurant on the counter, replete with order chits and their destinations, and was now sorting through the freshly made desserts.
ちょっとさっきから何をしてるの？まあまあ、その崎さん、いいからいいから彼女に任せておいて。それよりもこのオーダー全部一度に行くからお願いね。
The veteran waitress was briskly directing her juniors as the trays went out one after another. All the desserts that had passed through Satoko's hands were delivered at once. Oh god, did she put something in them?
分かってるだろうが、手をつけるなよ。自分の身が大事なら。
わかってるけど。
Certainly they were all incredibly cute-looking desserts. They were all works of art that you could enjoy before even taking your first bite. However, since Satoko had meddled with them, they were nothing more than an unpredictable danger. Blissfully ignorant of the fact that, of that fact were the men now stuffing their faces. Almost right away, they realized that something was wrong.
サトコ、何を混ぜた？塩やタバスコってわけじゃないだろう。
あら、ケイチさんが言ったんですのよ。手加減無用って。私、こう見えても叩くときは徹底的に叩く性分でございますの。
As she said that, she twirled a dubious file in her fingers before putting it away smartly into her pouch.
サトコより理解。お客様が行きますわよ。エスコートお願いしますわ。僕にお任せなのです。
Come to think of it, I didn't see Rika-chan anywhere. That file has me really, really unnerved, because we have, like, several murders that potentially have something to do with drugs or poison. And here we have, like, unknown mystery substance X that Satoko just happens to have possession of. Where could she be lurking? Several men stood up suddenly from their seats, surveying the restaurant for something. Oh, it was a laxative. Yeah, okay. Well, there we go. That's not so bad. That restless fidgeting, and that look of relief when they found the single placard hanging from the ceiling. Written on that placard was the word restroom. They began a mad rush in that direction. It wasn't just one or two people. All the people that were branded as the enemy were standing up from their seats while clutching at their stomachs.
さすがにくっつきすぎたでござるよ。お手洗いは
僕もにゃりオープンでなくクローズドの方でござる。今日リプレイ発信にゃり。
おトイレはどこにゃ？見つけたにゃ。緊急発進スクランブルにょ。
I felt dirty just thinking about what Satoko probably did to their desserts. The problem was how to follow this up. Also, she just happened to have that with her. That's on another level right there. I was intrigued, so I followed the rush of men to the washroom. The narrow hallway connecting the restroom was crammed with about 10 men. As I peered over to see what was happening, whoa. It seemed that the toilet was clogged and backflowing, unleashing a loud gurgling sound and a terrible stench. Oh, there's Rika's handiwork. There was no way to use it in this state. Damn that Satoko. What a frightening display of power. No, this wasn't Satoko's doing. It was divine punishment. Yeah, they were just unlucky. I'll just apologetically ask one of the employees here to clean it up. It was a brilliant combination of traps, but it would be better if there were one more push to the kicker. Seeing as it was Satoko, she wouldn't have overlooked that. Faced with a moral dilemma, that man only had one other option. Women's restroom. What a brazen bunch they are. The men, the sweat now pouring from their brows, made a mad rush to the girls' room without any hesitation.
Me?
There was a girl there. It was Rika-chan. The men stood there, frozen in various complicated poses indicating their surprise. Rika-chan also seemed dumbfounded by the sudden turn of events. But the look on her face was strangely perfect. This was all part of the plan as well. Oh, so now she just needs to let out a convincing scream. Although the fact that Keiichi's here watching this is not going to bode well for him. You sly dog, Rika-chan. I should never underestimate you.
Me.
男子便所がちょっとデンジャラスにゃので、ちょっとおトイレをお借りしたかっただけなのにゃ。にゃ。
Me.
でも、やっぱりいけないことでござるよな。どうして諸君?
Just by having a girl stand there in the restroom, I never knew it could put up such an overwhelming barrier. There was no way anybody could be brave enough to lift Rika-chan out of the way and try and do their business. This was the most they could do after all. If it were a man in full club mode, for example someone like me, they would plow through Rika-chan without a second thought. Now, what are you gonna do, you fat asses? The price for tormenting Shion still hasn't been paid. Rika-chan, with a pleasant smile on her face, guided them with a casual stride in her step. In this race against time, her slow pace was sadistic torture.
Mademoiselle,
Obeying Rika-chan's directions, they were about to leave the restaurant. I spread my arms out and blocked them as they tried to leave the restaurant.
のおトイレに行くのも自由でございますがね、その扉を一歩でも外へ出たなら二度と戻れませんのよ。
覚えてろ。
そんな怖いこと言う人たちを案内したくないのです。
Wait, you'll remember this? I think they mean will remember this? Or you'll regret this? Like, this whole part seems like really weirdly translated. Everybody panicked as Rika-chan began to turn back. They could only figuratively and literally fall in line. All the waitresses also lined up to see them off. The bell rang playfully as the door shut behind them. Unfortunately, that means Rika can't come back either, but oh well. She already got her payment. Rena and Satoko clapped their hands together.
俺一人じゃ歯が立たねえ連中もメンバー総登場ならまさに一網打尽だな。
この程度の相手なら私たちなら一人でもお相手できましたよ。圭一さんも少しは腕をお磨き遊ばせ。
I was loath to admit it, but Satoko was right. Yeah, he definitely should have come at it from a non-physical situation or angle, like something other than that. I don't know. I mean, like maybe rallying the rest of the restaurant against them or something. I don't know. Finding some clever way to do that. Damn it. One day I'll be strong enough to be worthy to stand alongside them. The veteran waitress was also smiling. After the herd was sent packing, it had calmed down completely inside the restaurant. Xian was flustered as she glanced between us and the now empty seats. Xian's expression was somewhere between happy and guilt-ridden. Her face had turned slightly red as she ran into the kitchen. Given Xian's personality, there's no way she'd thank us directly. We might have been a bit excessive in our means, but I'm really glad we were able to save her. Suddenly applause, and then everybody clapped. The applause quickly spread throughout the entire restaurant. Not only the other waitresses, but also the customers that were genuinely there to enjoy the desserts. Everyone was lauding our efforts. Well, now you can't ever tell that story, or else nobody will believe it. When we had mostly finished eating and were filling out the survey, Rika-chan made her return.
Oh,
unfortunately, she can't get back in, so.
ごめんなさいなのです。帰りに迷子になってしまって大変だったのです。
Although maybe they're gonna let her in just as a special thanks or something. I mean, technically, they didn't use a ticket. They came here by special invitation, so.
リカちゃんは変な道を通ることが多いからね。よく迷子になるんだよ。
Let's hope that those people haven't been Onikakushi'd. How did she get lost just guiding people to a nearby toilet?
人間誰にも得て増えてがありましたよ。リカにはそんなの負けないような長所がたくさんありますわ。
それもそうだな。さっきの女子トイレのあの表情、役者だったな。
あの時の圭一はひどいのです。自分が彼らの立場だったら僕を弾き飛ばして女子トイレに飛び込むとか考えていたのです。
Yeah, she's terrifying.
また俺、考えが顔に出てたのか。
ケイチ君。
あ、いや、そら。
I could laugh about it then, but a few days later, a newspaper headline read, 10 identified men were taken into custody in Hideyama. The men claimed they had traveled from Shishibone City by foot to find a toilet, but the spot they were taken into custody was X kilometers away from Shishibone. When I read that article, I realized how terrifying Rika-chan really was.
さてと、ごちそうさまなのでした。今日は呼んでもらえて嬉しかったのです。
Like, just managing to keep them there, or keep them going there, like, believing her that entire time, like, like, avoiding any potential places where they could stop to actually go to the bathroom, like, just, like, anywhere that's along the way, like a store or something, like, that is pretty impressive in its own right.
あら、もう帰りますの？もうちょっとゆっくりしても。タンスのお片付けの途中だったのですよ。あのままではお布団が敷けないのです。ああ、それもそうですわね。
Oops, looks like I called her at a bad time.
うん。レナが電話した時はお部屋の片付け中だったんだよ。でも駆けつけてくれたんだよね。まあ、非常時だから仕方ありませんわ。それに甘いものをいっぱいいっぱい食べさせてもらいましたですから、とても喜んでいますよ。
今日はありがとな。急に呼び出しちゃって。
シオンによろしくとお伝えなのです。では失礼しますわ。レナさんはどうぞごゆっくり。
Something gives me the feeling that Reina should probably leave too to not make things awkward.
うん、そうするね。じゃあね。
Rika and Sadako, in a good mood, horsed around with each other as they left. While Rena and I were having a discussion about the dessert we ate, Shion arrived with some coffee.
あら、ちっちゃい二人は帰っちゃいましたか？
Hearing them called the little ones was so strange, I inadvertently burst out laughing.
なんか片付けの途中だったとかで帰っちゃったよ。
Shion had brought enough coffee for 4 people.
先輩に話を聞きました。なんだか私のためにいろいろご迷惑をかけてしまったみたいで。
全然迷惑じゃないよ。他ならぬしーちゃんのピンチだしね。あ、いいよね、しーちゃんで。みーちゃんとお揃いでかいいかなって。
あ、まあ、どうぞご自由に。
Shion seemed a bit hesitant when Rena started talking to her. Rena's pretty sharp about some things, so Shion was probably worried that Rena would find out that she was Mion after talking like this. Shion said she'd have work soon and hurried off back to the kitchen, leaving behind coffee for just the two of us. Oh, she's definitely already figured it out. Like, there's in fact, I guarantee that all of them, except for maybe Sadako, who's pretty dumb, have all figured it out.
レナにそっけなかった。慣れ慣れしい子だと思われちゃったかな。
照れてるだけだよ。
でも本当にそっくりだね。双子ってよりももう一人のみーちゃんみたいな感じ。
外見は似てるけど雰囲気っていうか中身は全然違うだろ。そういう双子も面白いと思うけどな。
ケイチ君はそう思う？中身もそっくりだと思うよ。
Yeah, she would. It somehow became silent. Rena was just staring at the pattern the milk made on the surface of her coffee without saying a word. somebody like me who could never stop talking, it was a rather uncomfortable moment. Rena's off-put mannerism seemed to imply I said something I shouldn't have. That unpleasantness carried on for a little while.
レナさ、今日言ってたろ。ミオンが傷つけられたなんて話。
そんな話したかな。
だからとぼけるなよ。確かに言ったよ。今日の学校からの帰り道で。
I thought that was on the way home, or the way to school. Rena answered by laughing while continuing to play dumb, questioning if she said that. As thick-headed as I was, I had a faint realization. Rena wanted to say that I was the one who hurt Mion. But when? Me.
もし仮にそういうことがあったとしても、それは俺には悪意はなかったんだよ。
I continued the conversation, but left out the assumption that I had hurt Mion.
きっとそうだと思う。ケイチ君に悪気はなかったと思うな。
Rena replied, also leaving out the assumption that I had hurt Mion. But that confirmed it. I don't know how it happened, but it seemed that I had hurt Mion. And Rena was upset with me due to the fact I hadn't realized it.
誤解しないでほしいんだけど、別にレナは怒ってるわけじゃないよ。
Seeing right through what I was thinking, Rena said that as she smiled even more gently than usual.
ただなんていうのかな。難しいなって。
俺に落ち度があるなら、はっきりそうだと言ってくれないか。俺は自分でも呆れるほど鈍感なんだ。謝るべきことがあるなら、少しでも早くそれに気づいて謝罪したいと思ってる。
別にケイチ君に落ち度なんかなかったと思うよ。考えようによってはずるいのはみーちゃんの方なのかもしれないし。
Yeah, and that's kind of the situation with this entire game. It's like Keiji is not necessarily the one who's in the wrong in these situations. It's just that these situations are so complicated, and it's like there's so much to unpack and unravel that like even just getting involved in this is gonna come with a whole bunch of baggage. Like this, getting involved with this town at all.
ずるいのが女の子だって言い直るのもまたずるい気がするし。
What Reina said was draped in mystery. Unfortunately, I had no idea what she meant. The only thing I got out of it was that I had said or done something to inadvertently hurt Mion.
頼むよ、レナ。ミオンは俺の最高の仲間の一人だ。遺恨を残してなんか付き合いたくない。だから教えてくれよ。俺は何を傷つけてしまったんだ。
ダメだよ。こういうのは自分で気づかなきゃ。
Rena was smiling like she always did, but spoke bluntly. The fact that she had this strength of will surprised me for a moment.
それに気づけないからこうして頼んでるんだろう。
My tone had unintentionally become harsh. Rena was also surprised for a moment, but quickly returned to her flat demeanor.
じゃあヒントだけならいいかな。特別なんだよ。
すまん、頼む。ちゃんと考えるから。
Rena looked around the restaurant searching for Shion. Shion was working enthusiastically, but without confidence as usual.
しーちゃん、髪の毛を上げて結んだらみーちゃんと見分けつかなくなるんだろうね。
うん、そうだな。
じゃあさ、みーちゃんが髪をほどいたらやっぱりしーちゃんと見分けがつかなくなるのかな。
多分な。でもそれとこれと何の関係があるんだよ。
もしもだよ、双子の妹なんて話は嘘で、あれは妹のふりをしてるみーちゃんだったらどう思う？
And I feel like that actually might be a real thing. Like, the way she's saying it is kind of meant to just like make it seem like she's trying to make a bit of a hypothetical here, but that might actually be the real answer. I don't know. Rena was sharper than her daily behavior belied. I was hesitant in verbally affirming that, but it was the right answer. And the only reason I have that entire theory is because of that tip with Rika acknowledging that Shion does exist. That means that either Mion made this lie in the past against Rika, or it was actually Rika knows Shion and she's met her before or something. And I feel like she'd be the most likely to meet Shion if she did exist. So, yeah.
質問に質問で返すようで悪いけどさ、レナの言う通り、ミオンがシオンのふりをしていたとして、それは何のためだよ。
After maintaining the silence for a while, Rena glanced at the clock.
そこを考えてほしいな。ヒントにしては多すぎかも。
After thanking me for the dessert, Rena stood up from her seat.
ごめんね。頼まれてるお買い物があるからそろそろ帰るね。しーちゃんには挨拶もせずに先に帰っちゃってごめんって伝えておいてもらえるかな。
Well, I think that'll work out just fine.
ああ、伝えておく。
ごめんね。
え？
レナって怒りんぼなの。怒ってごめんね。ケイチくんだけが悪いわけでもないのに。
Rena was harsh in her apology, but I was the one who really should have apologized.
みーちゃんだってもうそんなに気にしてないことだと思うの。だからなかったことにして忘れちゃってもいいと思うんだけど。
I don't know. You can't really sweep something like this under the rug. It's like she said earlier, that it's something that it's kind of... There's a wound there and it's festering. And it kind of needs to be addressed directly.
でもね、同じ女の子としては、ケイチくんに自分で気づいて、自分で謝りに来てほしいなって夢を見ちゃうの。
Switching to cute mode only at the end, she disappeared in the direction of the register. While I was staring into space, somebody suddenly tapped me on the shoulder.
お待たせしました。やっと終わりました。
I'm guessing they already took their survey. It was Shion, who had changed into her street clothes. She flashed a smile while greeting me.
今日は本当にありがとな。どれもすごい美味しかった。みんなも喜んでたよ。
いえいえ、そんな。でも、喜んでもらえて嬉しかったです。あれ？さっきの女の人も帰っちゃったんですか？
買い物があるって言って帰ったよ。先に帰って申し訳ないって伝えておいてくれって。
そうですか。じゃあ、私たちも表に行きません？たとえオフでもバイト先は緊張しちゃいますから。
We ended up strolling around without any destination in particular. I had been sitting the entire time, so I was in need of a breath of fresh air. When we left, the sky had already become draped in a veil of darkness.
はあ、なんだか暗くなってきちゃいましたね。もっと早めに終わらせてもらえる約束だったのに。
Shion seemed upset that there wasn't much time left.
でもいいかな。ちょっとでもこうしてのんびりお話できる時間が取れたから。
Saying that, Shion set out for the tree-lined boulevard behind the station. The front of the station was slowly becoming crowded with businessmen heading home.
さて、自己紹介からしようかな。初対面はいきなりお姉と間違えられるという衝撃的な出会いだけで、互いに挨拶もしてないですからね。
I could only smile and laugh wryly.
私、園崎しおんと申します。お姉と似てるのは外見だけなんですよ。お姉は大雑把で暑苦しい人なんだけど、私は几帳面だけど涼しい人なんです。
If it actually turns out that there are some scenes where it's Mion and some scenes where it's Shion and we're not sure which ones, that's going to be kind of a nightmare to go back through and like try and figure that all out. I remembered what Rena and I had been talking about earlier. I said that they looked the same, but their personalities were different, while Rena said that they were both the same. I don't know what tipped her off, but Rena figured out that Shion was Mion. Also, related to that, she said that I had hurt Mion. Rena had given only one hint. That was, why is Mion pretending to be Shion?
シオンは俺のことミオンからなんて聞いてるんだ？
お姉はケイちゃんのことお気に入りみたいですから、饒舌にいろいろと喋ってくれますよ。部活の話とか、やられたとかやり返したとか、そんな男の子みたいな話ばかりです。本当に仲がいいんですね。
Boyish kind of stories, huh? Come to think of it, I think there was something Shion told me before. You don't think of my sister as a girl, do you? Was that what happened to her, or that hurt Mion? Mion herself said that she wished she'd been born a boy and that being a girl didn't suit her. She said a lot of things to that effect, didn't she?
ケイちゃん、さっきからなんだか楽しくなさそうですけど。
いや、そんなことないよ。
Wait, no, you should say that yes you are.
隠し事が下手なくせに嘘つこうとするんですよね。だから憎めないんですけど。
Saying that, she lightly chopped my forehead. Even though Shion was enjoying herself, I was still trying to figure out how I had hurt Mion. I was having a hard time figuring out the riddle that Rena had left me with.
ほら、あれ、綺麗だと思いません？男の子でも綺麗に感じます？
へえ、綺麗だな。
I feel like if she's like pointing at some gift or something, some like little trinket, she's like subtly, not so subtly hinting that he should give that gift to Mion and not Shion. Shion was having fun window shopping, dragging me by all sorts of stores I would normally never enter. It wasn't like she was begging me to buy or anything, and I wasn't getting bored either. It was just something to talk about as we walked around. In an easygoing way, we browsed through numerous stores. We discussed all sorts of topics I knew nothing about, but I didn't lose interest. I had the feeling she was good at conversation.
ケイちゃんってこういうの初めてですか？
ああ、初めてだよ。こんな小物のお店なんかこうして連れてきてもらわなかったら一生入らなかったな。
そういうのじゃなくて、こういう感じの。
Here's where she grabs his arm and he gets all flustered. I leapt back when Shion suddenly linked her arm with mine.
そんなに驚かなくてもいいじゃないですか。女の子と腕を組むくらい、そんなに恥ずかしいことなんですか？
I mean, this is like clearly a date, no matter how you look at it, but I don't know if he's put that together yet. Shion's expression was a little bit miffed, but suggestive at the same time.
別に恥ずかしくなんかねえよ。腕が欲しけりゃ1本でも2本でもくれてやるよ。ほら。
ケイちゃんって本当に退屈しない人ですね。お姉のお気に入りってのもよくわかります。
いらねえなら引っ込めるぞ、腕。
そんな喜んで拝借いたしますわ。
Laughing in good spirits, Shion locked her arm with mine. My heart skipped a beat.
反応を楽しみたいんで意地悪に質問しますけど、ケイちゃん、女の子と腕組んだことあります？林間学校のキャンプファイヤーでってのはなしでです。
That little devil. She was asking that question knowing full well what the answer would be.
林間学校を封じられると辛いな。
そうだと思いました。
そのいたずらっぽい笑い方、本当にミオンと同じだな。お前、本当にシオンなんだろうな。ミオンがシオンだって嘘をついてるんじゃないのか？
お姉がシオンのふりをしてるかもしれないって思ってます？
さっきまでは双子だと思ってたが、悪ふざけの仕方がミオンとそっくりすぎるからな。
口ではそんなこと言ってますけど、ケイちゃんはちゃんと私とお姉を区別してますよ。
区別ってなんだよ。
お姉がこうやって腕を取ってきたら、ケイちゃんドキドキしますか？
Well, if she was dressed like that, probably he would, actually. And acting like you are acting right now.
する。関節技でもかけられるんじゃないかと思ってビクビクする。
Shion laughed so hard she had to hold on to her sides.
おいおい、そんなにおかしいことかよ。肩腹を押さえて涙溜めるくらいに。
Yeah, that was kind of his bad on that one.
いえいえ、お姉ってしょうがないなって思ったんです。年頃の男の子と腕を組んで心臓を高鳴らすこともできないなんて、本当に女の子失格ですよね。
I remembered once again that I'd heard someone say that before.
お姉は男の子に生まれた方が良かったんじゃないかなって思うことありますよ。そしたら私も惚れてるかもな。なんちゃって
ミオンも男の子に生まれたかったなんて言ってたな。
お姉は女の子がしたいのか男の子がしたいのか中途半端なんですよね。
And maybe even more than that would initially, like, imply.
まあ、不吉祥な生き方のツケですからね。放っておいてあげてください。
さっきから実の姉に随分な言い方だな。
私、ミオンのどことなく甘えたところ好きじゃないんです。
The way that Shion talked somehow sounded cold.
シオンってミオンとあんまり仲良くないのか？
まあそこそこは仲良くやってます。でも姉妹として許せないなってところはいろいろありますよ。あれ見てください。可愛いと思いません？
I turned around to look at where Shion was pointing. What was there was the familiar display window of a toy shop. How messed up would it be if it was actually Shion who framed Mion for the altercation that she had with the police way back in the day in the dam murder, and it's actually like Shion's the mastermind behind that, and yeah, that would just make Mion like completely innocent. The same shop that was the stage for the incident that occurred during last Sunday's club activities. What Shion was pointing at was a display with a plethora of adorable dolls that looked like the sort girls would like.
女の子ってどうしてこういうのが好きなのかな？
だって可愛いじゃないですか。ケイちゃんは可愛いって思いませんか？
俺は男だから特にそういうのは感じないよ。
まあまあ、ケイちゃんはこの中で一番可愛いのはどれだと思います？
Shion, pulling on my arm, motioned to the row of dolls. They were lined up like they were close sisters, taking a commemorative photo. A few of them seemed strangely familiar.
こっち側に並んでる4つは見覚えがあるな。
やっぱり有名なんですね。ケイちゃんでも知ってるくらいだから。
Shion sounded impressed.
最近イギリスから入ってきたばかりの新作なんですよ。この辺ではまだ売ってますけど、都市部の方じゃ品切れ状態で安さがポイントのはずなのに変に高騰しちゃってるそうですよ。
女の子っていい年になってもこういうのが好きなんだな。
人にもよるでしょうけど、人形とかぬいぐるみとかを嫌いな女の子ってそんなにいないと思いますよ。あの男女のお姉ですら可愛いって言ってましたから。
へえ、ミオンも可愛いって言うのか。そりゃすごいことだな。
That's right, I just remembered. The store owner gave this one to us after Sunday's event. And we got that CG implying that she was a bit bitter about not getting one. Except for Mion, who was a relative, everybody had gotten something.
やっぱりあれが一番ですよね。
Hint, hint, hint.
ドレスのふわふわな感じが本当に。
それだ。この店のマスターに俺がもらったやつだ。
らしいですね。
Shion replied softly but clearly.
吉郎おじさんが日曜日のイベントを盛り上げてくれたお礼にって。お姉が連れてきた友達4人に配ったんだそうです。ドレスの人形はケイちゃんがもらったんですね。どうでしたか？とっても可愛かったでしょ？
As a man, there's no way I'd think it was cute.
じゃあその人形どうしちゃったんですか？
持っててもしょうがないからあげちゃったよ。
Alright, that was the one he gave to Rena, so he doesn't still have it, so he can't give it to her. As Shion laughed, I could hear an audible click run through my head, like the piece of a jigsaw puzzle snapping into place.
今日はみんな本当にありがとう。おかげでイベントは大盛り。大したものじゃないけど、これ今日の。
あ、吉郎おじさん、私にはないの？おだちん。
あらあらあら、かわいいのが出てきましたわよ。
When Sadako and Rika-chan opened up the bag, there were cute little stuffed animals inside.
わあ、これかわいい。お持ち帰りしていいの？本当に？
ってことは俺のもかな。お、なんだかやたら可愛いのが出てきたぞ。
It was a stuffed toy wearing a beautiful dress, one that you'd use to play house. Rena's eyes were glued to my stuffed doll. Sadako was the same, and Rika-chan too. I see. It wasn't just Rena, Sadako, and Rika-chan. There was one other person who seemed jealous.
ケイちゃんには一番似合わないのが出てきちゃったね。
Not wanting for her expression to give it away, she had said that to hide her
なん
embarrassment.
つうのか、プリティっていうかキュートっていうか。
ケイちゃんが持ってたら確実に明日からあれな趣味の人扱いだね。うん。
She's like definitely trying to hint that he should give it to her. I looked around to see who I should give the doll to. Mion was right in front of me, so clearly not her. Mion was the only one who hadn't received a present, so I thought about giving it to her. But I didn't.
くれるの？レナに？ありがとう。
Turning away from Mion's covetous gaze, I gave the doll to Rena. Mion's smile bore into my back. There was no way I couldn't have noticed. Why did I not give it to Mion? Since Mion was the only one who didn't get anything. Wouldn't it have just been standard practice to give it to her? At that time, I had noticed that something was wrong. That's why I said it.
保身のためだよ。レナにあげないと夜道が怖い。
違いない違いない。
ミオンにあげようかと思ったけど、ちょっと違うよな。
Something dark flickered briefly in Mion's eyes, but at that time I didn't notice it. I had thought to give it to Mion. Why didn't I?
へへへへ、わかってるじゃない。私さ、どうして男に生まれなかったのかなと思う時あるよ。
Yeah, that's like her being pretty derisive of herself there. Mion herself had said that with a laugh, so I didn't realize that I had hurt her.
そうだな。ミオンってかっこいい系の方が似合うやつだもんな。だからこの店の手伝いはシオンちゃんが来て正解だったと思うぜ。
Shion asked, probably thinking she misheard
制
me.
服、ミオンなんかには絶対に似合わないと思うけど、シオンちゃんにはよく似合ってると思うしさ。
それって
And this is like, once again, like, it always happens in this game so far, where Keiichi seems like he's gonna be like a really dense protagonist, that he's not gonna put things together, but then, like, shortly after, just like, before it's too late even, I would say, he actually manages to put things together, and then things still go wrong somehow. I don't know. It's weird. Shion, like Rena often does, spaced out and turned bright red. Mion seemed really happy. She seemed happy that I complimented Shion, saying that it didn't suit Mion, but that it suited Shion. Saying that it suited her seemed to make her happy. That makes me think that maybe this person at the restaurant is actually Shion? I don't know.
ミオンの双子の妹なんだよ。性格は違うけど、外見は瓜二つなんだ。
そうそう。外見は似てるけど中身は大違いなんだよ。私は優しくて思慮深いけど、シオンは冷めてておっかない性格なんだよね。
多分生まれた時にミオンの女の子らしい部分は全部シオンに行っちゃったんだと思う。ミオンと違って実にはにかんだ笑顔の似合う可愛い女の子なんだ。
Mion made a strained face that was both angry and happy at the same time. It seemed she was happy that I said Shion was cute. Sneaking a look inside the box to say that she just put some of the leftovers inside would have been a lie. There was an elegant meal stuffed inside. So now that he's putting all this together, I'm curious what he's going to do with this information. I'm going to be really, really annoyed if like something just shows up and like interrupts them and like something causes him to not be able to say anything about it. I don't know. Because it wouldn't be like, it wouldn't be Higurashi if things just all went peachy and fine and everything. Or another possibility is that the person he's with is actually Mion, or actually Shion, and then he's gonna give a doll to her, and it'll just make Mion feel even worse. I don't know.
本当にいいのか？これタバスコとかがいっぱい入ってるとか、そういう冗談じゃないのかよ。
もうお姉じゃないんですから、私そんなことしませんよ。別に嫌なら無理しなくても、帰って自分で食べちゃいますから。
I'm not my sister. That was how she'd said it. Shion was insistent that she wasn't Mion. She was saying that she was Shion and that I shouldn't think of her as Mion. When Mion was Shion, it carried a special meaning.
みーちゃんって不思議でしょ？女の子なんだけど男の子みたいっていうか。
That's what Reina said.
でもね、そんなみーちゃんも本当はすっごく女の子らしいんだよ。
レナ、お前ミオンにいくらもらったんだよ。
違うの。もうちゃんとした話をしてるんだよ。だよ。
And that was kind of her way of trying to let Keiichi know that he messed up without necessarily outright saying it. Reina began to pout. Now probably wasn't the time to joke around.
みーちゃんは部活の部長さんだからみんなのリーダーとして頑張ってるけど、本当はとっても可愛い女の子なんだよ。それ特に圭一くんには忘れてほしくないの。
There never was a riddle to begin with. Reina was saying the answer right from the beginning.
それでもう私何が何だかわからなくなっちゃって。
Did we just perspective shift?
うん。ケイちゃんに悪気がなかったのは分かってる。分かってるつもり。
うん。圭一くんは人を傷つけるような人じゃないよ。だからみーちゃんが痛みを覚える必要なんかじゃあ
何なんだろうね。悔しいのかそれとも悲しいのか。
欲しかった？あのお人形。レナがもらったのをあげても何にも解決にならないもんね。
そうだね。
Again, they're mixing up the pronouns here. I'm pretty sure that should be, even if I gave it to you, it wouldn't solve anything.
じゃあみーちゃん、ケイチくんにおねだりしてごらんよ。正面からぶつかってみた方が結構解決できるかもしれないよ。
そんなのできるわけないじゃない。
今さら恥ずかしくてできない？
ミオンじゃない私でもう一回やり直したい。そうしたら今度はもっと素直になりたい。ミオンとしてのケイちゃんとの関係はとても気に入ってるよ。わがままだと知ってるけど、もう一回。
きっと気づいてくれるよ、ケイチくん。
そうかな。
Well, it does kind of just seem like they're straightforwardly answering all of our questions here, but I don't know. There still could be more to this. But so far it just seemed like, yeah, that's Mion straight up admitting that she pretended to be Shion. And, yeah.
レナも応援するから。みーちゃんの悲しみが軽くなる方法を探してみようよ。
This scene also explains why Rena left. Like, she knew that she would get in the way.
私を信じて。みーちゃんを泣かせたりなんか絶対にさせないから。
信じる。信じる。
Yeah, we know what happened last time Mion cried, and it wasn't pleasant.
きっとケイチくんはみーちゃんのことも分かってくれるよ。それでね、無神経なことを言ってごめんねって言って、あのお店にみーちゃんを連れて行って、あのお人形をプレゼントしてくれるの。
The fact that they're saying this beforehand, though, makes me think something's gonna happen that's gonna prevent this from going as well as it should. And I don't know. But then again, we are still in the, like, light half of the story, so maybe things will seemingly get wrapped up here. I don't know.
そうしたらみーちゃんもありがとうって言うんだよ。茶化しちゃダメだよ。素直に言うんだからね。
欲しいなって言ったらケイちゃん買ってくれます？
Mion said it quietly, doing her best to quell her embarrassment. I would have reflexively begun to lightly tease her to hide my embarrassment. But like Mion, I quelled that impulse.
いいよ、ミオン。今日までのお礼ってことで、どれでも買ってやるよ。
My voice cracked with the unfamiliar words. In order to not lose to Mion trying her best, I tried my best as well.
だから私、ミオンじゃなくてシオン。
じゃあシオンに買ってやるよ。
Shion looked down, red-faced. She pointed at the doll in the dress through the store window.
本当にいいんですか？あのドレスのだけはちょっぴり高いんですよ。
値段の問題じゃないだろう。気持ちの問題だよ。
私、今日はケイちゃんに嫌なお客さんから助けてもらえて本当に嬉しかったです。先輩たちもみんな助けてくれなかったのに、ケイちゃんだけは助けてくれました。私の肩をグイって引っ張ってくれましたよね。あの時すごくかっこよかったです。なのに私恥ずかしくってちゃんとしたお礼もできなくって。
I clamped my hand down on Shion's head and ruffled her hair roughly, like how I would to Rena and the others. When I did that, Shion, like Rena would have, spaced out and blushed slightly.
そんな難しいのは抜きでいいよ。あの時あげてればよかったんだ。そうすればみんな楽しく笑ってられたんだ。
Shion didn't respond. She had turned bright red, like she was trying to hold back both laughter and tears.
今買ってくれよ。そこで待ってるよ。
私も一緒に行きます。
Saying that, she grabbed onto my arm once again. She wasn't trying to be stoic anymore.
お姉がどうしてケイちゃんのことを好きなのか、ねえ、 ケイちゃんのことちょっぴり好きになってもいいですか？
The unfamiliar situation made my head start to spin. Whoa, what am I doing? I had reached my limit. Smiling wryly to hide my embarrassment, I dragged Shion into the store with me.
すみません。表のショーウィンドウにあるドレスの人形が欲しいんですけど。
After a moment, I heard a voice of acknowledgement, and an apron-clad employee soon appeared. Well, this just got a whole lot more complicated.
それに、なんであんたがここにいるの？バイト中のお姉には関係ありません。私、ケイちゃんとデート中なんですから。
Yep, definitely. This is exactly what I feared would happen. This is like the worst possible case. Even if you ask why, I'd like to know the answer myself. Mion looked at me with an expression of confusion and surprise. But that was the same with me, and she knew Mion would be in there too. She did all of this on purpose, oh my god. Like, Mion wasn't kidding when she said that she has a cold and dark personality. If she was there, then who was next to me?
最初からそうだって言ってます。園崎シオンです。お姉の双子の妹ですよ。ケイちゃんだって私のことシオンって呼んでたじゃないですか。
Shion, saying that, pouted cutely.
どういうことなの？説明してよ、シオン。別にお姉がご就寝のケイちゃんってどんな人なのかなって思ってデザートフェスタのチケットを都合してあげたんです。そしたらケイちゃん、私が嫌なお客さんに絡まれているところにさっそうと現れて。
I knew it was interesting the way that I knew something was amiss when Mion said that thing about she didn't think it would be the dessert fest or something like that.
バッタバッタとなぎ倒して私を助けてくれて。
Both Mion and I raised our voices pathetically, expressing our confusion to the utmost.
ミオンが電話をくれたろ、昨日さ。
しないよ私。何のことか全然わかんない。私、ケイちゃんのためにお弁当を届けてあげたよね。
Okay, so that was her. But then who was Mion at the school? Who blushed when she said it was good food? Like, there's no way that was Shion pretending to be Mion, right?
あれは私だもんね。それともあれ、お姉だったの？園崎ミオンともあろうお方が手作り弁当を作って男の子の家に海外しく届けに行ったと？へえ、お姉って見かけによらず大胆。
With a loud pop, a trail of smoke began to rise from Mion's head.
知らない知らない。ほらね、ケイちゃん、お姉は知らないって。だから昨日までのは全部私、園崎シオンなの。
No, I feel like we literally just met her today. But maybe we've met her one other time, I don't know.
私のふりをしたお姉かもしれないと思ってたかもしれないけど、これで疑いは晴れたでしょ？
I couldn't tell up from down at the moment. If there was a mirror around, I could have seen my eyes go wide from the shock.
さあ、店員さん、表のショーケースの人形、包んでくださいね。
Like, if it were me and I was Keiichi in the situation, like, I would literally just give it to Mion. Like, I feel like he figured all that out. Like, clearly Mion is the one who wanted it, so even if it would be a bit rude to Shion, like, you knew Mion longer, so, I mean, she takes priority. And also she was being a bit manipulative. But I guess she could easily, like, talk her way out of that by saying that, no, I was being pretty upfront about it. I said I was Shion the entire time. even though she knew full well what he was thinking.
大好きになった人からの初めてのプレゼントだから、ちゃんとリボン付きで梱包してほしいです。
Mion, completely flustered, was being cornered by a sly-faced Shion. My brain had stopped working.
そんな、ケイちゃん、何がどうなって。じゃあ行こう。ケイちゃん、もう暗くなってきたから、お家まで送ってあげるね。おねえ、悪いけど沖宮の家に電話して車を回すように言ってもらえる？自転車も積めるようにワゴンか何かで来てほしいって伝えてね。
In contrast to Shion, who had glee written all over her face, Mion was an empty shell and looked like she could burst into tears at any moment. Yeah, this is not good. I hope that he does something to smooth this over.
ケイちゃん。
Like, this like, happy-go-lucky, funny music is not really appropriate to the situation of what's actually going on inside Mion's head right now. After that, Mion's grumblings were unrelenting. It hasn't been long enough. Huh. I feel like that's going to be a scene where Mion and Shion confront each other, and it turns out that they really don't have a very good relationship at all. Anyway. That... I don't even know what to think at that point. Like, I'm gonna assume that all the Mions that we've talked to at school have been actually Mion, but... it is weird how she seemed... No. I think that... the first time that he met Shion, it was really Shion. And then the time that Mion went to his house dressed as Shion, that was Mion. But that might not make sense. I might have to go back and check if that makes sense. Otherwise, it was Mion the first time that they met. So, yeah, I don't know. But anyway, we'll figure that all out at some point eventually. But for now, that'll be it for this episode, so until next time, take care, and I will see you then.